Hey guys, so today we're making some brown butter brownie cookies. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started with the recipe. So this is a recipe that I got online. It's from Well Made by Kylie. And I'll put their information in the description box below. But here I'm adding in my dry ingredients, which is it's 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Then I have 1 tablespoon of some baking powder, and I also added in some salt, and I'm just going to mix that together. Next, I have 1 stick of butter here that I'm going to melt on my stove because we want to brown this butter. So you're going to do this and make sure you stir it continuously for about 5 to 8 minutes. You don't want to burn the butter. And so you're going to see it start to foam and then get brown. And then once you see that, you're going to add in some unsweetened cocoa powder. So I have 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder here that I'm going to mix in with the butter. And so I'm just going to stir that until it is combined, and then I'm going to remove it from the heat. Next, I'm going to add in some dark chocolate chips, and you want to stir this until it is combined. And then I'm going to place this to the side. I'm actually going to remove it from the pot so that it can cool down, because you're going to need to add this to your other ingredients that contain eggs, and you don't want to cook the egg. And so next I'm going to add mix my sugar. So I have some granulated sugar as well as some brown sugar, and then I'm going to add in 2 eggs that have been out at room temperature. And again, I'll put all of this in the description box below, as well as that person's information. And so I'm just going to mix my sugars and my eggs together, and then I'm going to put my cooled butter and chocolate mixture into this, and then I'm just going to stir it until it is combined. And so after that, I'm going to add in my dry ingredients, which is the all-purpose flour and the baking powder and salt mixture, and I'm just going to fold that in. I did forget to add in my vanilla, so you're going to see me add in some vanilla paste. If you have just regular vanilla extract, you can add that as well. But I'm just going to stir this together, and I actually put this in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes just so that the dough could kind of form together a little bit better. And so while my dough is chilling in the refrigerator, I am going to chop up. I have 1 bar of semi-sweet chocolate that I'm going to chop up, or you can just use all chocolate chips if you want to, but I like the addition of the chopped chocolate bar because it adds like it melts different than the chocolate chips, if that makes any sense. And so I'm also just adding in some semi-sweet chocolate chips. So I have some mini morsels that I'm going to add, as well as some other regular sized ones that I add. I'm just putting whatever I have in my cabinet in here, if I'm being honest. And so I'm going to mix all of this together. And so I took my dough out of the refrigerator, so I'm going to use a cookie scoop. And so I'm going to dip it into the chocolate chip mixture. Don't put it all the way around the ball. You just want to get a nice amount of them on top of the cookie, and then you're going to place it on a lined baking sheet. And so as I continue to do this, like the instructions said to dip it in there, but I found it to be easier to form the cookie ball and then just get a nice little handful of the chocolate chips and kind of press it into the dough. And so you're going to continue this process for all of your dough, and then you're going to bake it in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 11 to 12 minutes. And then you're going to let the cookies sit on the sheet for a few minutes before transferring it to a wire rack. But these cookies were absolutely delicious. And if you love brownies, or even like if you think of like those brownie crisps that they sell at the store, like these started out like nice and fudgy, but as they sat like a few days, it turned into like the corner piece of the brownie, which was so good. And I just finished it off with some flaky salt, but these were absolutely delicious. I highly recommend these. I would definitely make these again. So delicious, very chocolatey. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. I truly appreciate the support. What's your favorite cookie? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again. Bye.